Okay, so this review is a little late just because I've been having massive problems trying to access Paramount Plus and watch the Halo TV shows. So I've got to give a massive shout out to Games Akimbo for essentially letting me use his Paramount Plus account for watching this. So a massive shout out to you, man. I really appreciate the support and the help. All of his links for his YouTube channels will be down in the links below, so make sure you go check him out, subscribe to his channel, and obviously let him know that Wizzo sent you as well. Much appreciated if you could do that, but let's get on with the review. The Halo TV show has had some very mixed reviews, to say the least. Some saying that it's really good and others saying that it's fairly mediocre. Right, I want to say for the first 15 minutes, I was grabbed. I was grabbed and I was hooked in. It was really good. I've got to say, the first 15 minutes, the gore was next level. I mean, one of the parts, I don't want to spoil it too much, but you were literally just, everything was silent and happy in one moment. The next minute, you know, bam, plasma rifle to the face. Whoa! The gore is mental! Mate, they don't hold back. Oh my god. That scared me for a second then. Plasma rifle to the face in the first bit of combat. Jesus. It was mental. Blood, there's everything. Gore is in this TV show. I'm glad that they've kind of done that as well, because without it, I don't know if it would have worked as well. And this is one of the positives that we had from Halo CE and Halo 2. The Covenant's blood and gore after you killed them, or after they were massacred by the Flood in Combat Evolved. All the blood over the walls and things. It's just, it gives you the extra bit of immersion, and I'm glad they've gone with that in the TV show. I think it's paid off massively. Overall, the art style is very fan servicey, but I do like it a lot. For example, the Halo Combat Evolved AR is in the game, and you can see that. They've actually CGI'd it as well in one of the scenes to make you aware that that is in the film or the series, which was a pretty cool touch, but fairly unnecessary, really, let's be honest. But anyway, going into more of the art style, the Halo 3 Phantom is back, the Halo Infinite like Chief Armor is in there as well, and I really liked the aesthetic, and I really liked the way that it looked as well, so I was pretty impressed with that. You can tell that it wasn't low budget, it was fairly high budget in these scenes with the Covenant. So there was a little bit of Marty O'Donnell's classic Halo music in there, but it was changed up and amended so much that it was nothing like the original. That's one of my biggest gripes from watching it, as in, again, even in the trailers there was no original Halo music, and there was a very big lack of it in this show as well, which I think was a massive missed opportunity for me. And the fact that it's not the original, it's a very amended version of the original, it just didn't hit the same. The overall story then, how does that fare, and what directions do they go into? Well, without spoiling it too much, as we know, it's nothing like the games. It's a completely different timeline. They can essentially just do whatever they want in this series and it not affect the actual canon of the Halo universe. But, I mean, we have a literal human who was adopted by the Covenant, whose father figure is supposedly the Arbiter. So that gives you an idea of how crazy that this might go. So we get to see characters like Dr. Halsey as well, in conflict with the UNSC and her different projects of like making Cortana and stuff like this. You know, we've seen it all in the trailers anyway, and with Cortana being there. Obviously then we've got Captain Keyes, which makes a return, which is really cool. And then Miranda Keyes, his daughter as well, which is there. It's pretty interesting to see what they actually think of Chief in this as well, because in the games, especially in Combat Evolved, the Chief is like the savior, right? He's like the person you call on to defeat or defend or whatever it might be, to take out an objective or to go rescue someone and whatnot. It's interesting to see that he's regarded in the TV show as not human at all, really. He's regarded, and this was quoting the actual movie, he's quoted as a walking killing machine. Not a human, a walking killing machine. That's what the UNSC think of the Chief. They don't really care about him. They just want him to do their missions. And yeah, the only one that really cares about the Chief is potentially Halsey and even Captain Keyes, which I think is really, yeah, definitely an interesting approach to take. To be honest, as I mentioned, I'm pretty okay with the story as of now. It has only been the first episode. I think I'm excited to see what comes next. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the second episode. I did hear, though, in some of the reviews from some people that had some press releases of the second episode, that the second episode is a filler episode already, which I'm not very impressed with, to be honest. Like, they should be going balls to the wall with the first couple of episodes, getting those hardcore Halo fans in there, and then they can back it off slightly in maybe the 4th or the 5th episode and then get back onto it in the later ones. But the 2nd episode being a filler, again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but the show itself, was it Halo-like? Did it feel like Halo? Was it anything like the games or anything like any of the previous TV shows that we've had before? Well, yes, but also no. Art style and CGI wise, absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10. It was really, really good. Especially the bits, obviously, with the Covenant in. Even the Prophet looked really good. The Prophet of Mercy looked very, very good. Very well textured. I was overly surprised, to be honest, for how good it looked. The overall story, again, we'll have to fare it out and see how it does go. I don't know. I can't say what it's going to be like, how crazy they're going to go with it. But the elephant in the room, of course, Chief does take off his damn helmet. We knew this was going to happen. It was in articles, and it happens in the 1st episode. I'm going to say that right now. They don't give time for you to adapt to the Chief, understand him as a character with this helmet on to start with, like they did in Combat Evolved and Halo 2. They gave you the baseline to understand Chief. In the series, they don't do that. They just kind of like go for it, try to show his human side, and I don't know, I feel like they could have left it for the 3rd or the 4th episode to do that. Just establish Chief as this faceless character first, and then go into his more personal side. But there's nothing we can do about it. It's done. We've got to face it now. Although I do think Pablo, the actor of the Chief, did a really good job of acting as Chief. I think he suited the character really, really well. It might be controversial, but I think he did a good job in there. I mean, it's obviously going to be a controversial topic having someone else other than Steve Downes voice the Chief. But I think he did a very good job considering Steve Downes doesn't voice the Chief this time. And I think Pablo does a good job. Obviously, the voice is a problem. But overall, acting-wise, combats, different things like that, I think he did a very good job as the Chief. Now, I can't say much more without spoiling it, to be honest. So that's my first impressions, spoiler-free review of the 1st episode of the Halo TV show. Overall, I like the art style. I thought the references to the games were really neat, and I really liked those as well. I enjoy the general aesthetic of the show, and I'm looking forward to more, to be honest. I think the story could evolve into something pretty cool if they go the right direction and they don't just go mental with it. So I'm hoping that they don't. And I'm hoping they keep it fairly steady and just kind of in line with the games. You know, I don't want them to go mental. Make it not Halo, because that's not what I want. I'm okay with it being a different timeline, but if it doesn't seem like Halo, that's where there's a problem. So it kind of felt like Halo in the 1st episode, so I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm glad they've kind of kept it grounded. We've got all of the key characters that we know and love from fan favorite characters. The next part of the video is going to be a spoiler review, so if you guys don't want to have any spoilers, then obviously click off right now. But for you guys that want to stick around and listen to more in-depth spoilers around the story, then stay around to the next part of the video. But thanks for watching, guys. For those that are leaving now, I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Now, spoilers. The story is pretty engaging, to be honest, in the 1st episode. So, going into some details, the rebels have essentially been fighting against the UNSC for their freedom for years upon years. And that's been a completely separate war to the UNSC and the Covenant. So, there's 2 different conflicts there already. The rebels had never heard of the Covenant before, which was really interesting to me to find that out. They thought it was just a myth or some propaganda to scare them, but when they did come across them, yeah, they completely mowed down the entire colony that was there. And yeah, it was really graphic, to be honest. Then, out of nowhere, Silver Team, so the Chief and the other 3 Spartans, show up and they take out all of the elites in the compound. And there was one rebel survivor, which I'm sure we've all seen her in the trailer. And there'll be a screenshot on screen right now. The Chief and the Silver Team find a relic that was present in the trailers, and when Chief touches it, it looks like a Forerunner relic, and only a Reclaimer can access this Forerunner relic. So when Chief touches it, it fills him with memories from when he was a child, which is really interesting. So it actually shows him with his family dog, and yeah, that was obviously before he was abducted by Halsey as a part of the Spartan 2 program. Seeing a bit of a plot twist there, I wasn't expecting that at all. Halsey and the UNSC are kind of panicking when the Chief tells them about this and wondering how the hell he remembers this, because they've obviously never told him, and Halsey's blocked out all of those memories from his head. So he shouldn't remember those things, but this relic has reactivated those memories. So she kind of just shrugs it off and tells John it's nothing, and they'll talk about it more when he gets back to the UNSC base. It then cuts to the first look at the new antagonist and the Prophet of Mercy on a very strange looking High Charity. They speak about the artifact that the Chief did capture along with Silver Team, and they essentially said it was taken by the demon. So again, a really good little throwback there to the games. And the cool thing that I did pick up on is it's really good that they're not speaking English. I don't know what language it was, whether it's an actual language that we can speak and understand, or whether it's something completely made up. But yeah, a little nod to some of the criticism that Halo 2 had back in the day when the Covenant was speaking English. And yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool little Easter egg in there as well. If it was meant to be one, I don't know, but I'm glad that the Covenant are actually speaking a different language. The Chief is essentially ordered to kill the surviving rebel that he had saved, really. But he disobeys the orders and cuts the video feed from the Pelican that's essentially flying them back to the UNSCs, just so that they don't know if she's dead or not. The overall commander of the UNSC at the time thinks that the Chief is going rogue, and then sounds the alarm within the facility to get all members of the UNSC and the remainers of Silver Team to the hangar where his Pelican is about to land. And she even says and orders to kill the Chief if he tries anything as well. This is just pointing out that you can tell they don't give a damn about the Chief, and that they think of him nothing more as a human walking killing machine. But then the Chief decides to touch this artifact that he had taken back and was going to give to Halsey to look into and maybe reverse engineer, and activates a massive EMP pulse, wiping out all electronics across the entirety of Reach. And at the time, his Pelican was EMP'd and shot down, but this artifact revives that essentially and gives it a power and electronics and allows it to take back off and manually fly it away from there, which I thought was pretty interesting as well. Oh, and the last 15 minutes of the show, the Chief has his helmet off the entire time, so if you didn't like that, then you won't like the last 15 minutes, but to be honest, it doesn't really bother me too much. But that's the overall story for episode 1. Overall, I really enjoyed it, to be honest. I did enjoy it. I thought it was good. The first 15 minutes grabbed me, pulled me in. I really liked the conflict. Again, the politics is quite an interesting side to see as well. A lot of people aren't really a fan of that. And if you're not a fan of Halo and a lore nerd like me, then you might not really be into it as much. But it's good to see the conflict. I quite liked the backside of that sort of stuff as well. So, yeah, it was also really interesting to see. But, yeah, the main antagonist was in the whole episode, an hour-long episode. She was in it for 30 seconds, so I did get me a bit concerned because I don't want this character just to be on the back front and the actual war to be within the UNSC and the Chief. I hope that this character has more to it and the Covenant has more to it as well, and I'm sure that we'll find that out later on in the episodes. But guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know what you think of the story. Apparently the second episode of this story is actually a filler episode, and I think I said that earlier, but I don't know how I feel about the second episode being a filler one, but I haven't seen it, so we'll have to wait and see for next week for the review. But guys, as underwhelming as it might be, let me know what you think down below. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. If you haven't seen it, let me know what you think of the story so far. To be honest, you need to watch it to understand it better. This was very, very high level. Some things might have been missed out on. Drop a like, guys, if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're brand new. Speak soon, guys, and take care.